Hello everyone, and I'm going to attempt to teach a yoga class with no sunglasses on. So they might make their way back on my face later because it's pretty bright for my eyes. Anywho, it's been a long time since I've done some solid yoga. I would say it's been close to 2 weeks for me. So I realized that happened, and I don't want to let that become the norm. So we'll try to get right back in the routine of it. But I might forget sides again because it's been a while. So let's start today just finding some silence on our mat, and we're going to find ourselves on our hands and knees. So just finding what feels comfortable for us. We'll find that our hands are directly underneath the shoulders, and we'll see if we can feel out if our hips are right over the knees, or maybe if the knees are too far in or too far out. But we'll just do a couple cat-cows here. Dropping the belly, we'll let the chin lift, the tailbone lift, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And then exhale, tuck the tailbone, rolling all the way through until the chin tucks, and feel the shoulder blades pull apart here. Now lead with that tailbone, start to lift the tailbone, belly drops all the way until the chin lifts. Exhaling. Inhaling. And exhaling. So we'll notice we move with our breath in our cat-cows. Just a couple more here. Really feel, the stretch in each pose here. When we're ready, we'll keep the hands at that shoulder's distance. Make sure the middle finger is pointing right towards the front of the mat. Fingers are spread wide, and we press away into the hands, and we're going to lift the knees off the mat. So if we notice that our hips are really high or really low here, we want to press away through the hands. Feeling very strong, pull that belly button in and give the tailbone a little bit of a tuck. So we'll feel the glutes engage. And then maybe we rock back and forth a little bit. So we're just building a little bit of heat. And when we're ready, we find our first down dog. So lifting the tailbone towards the sky, let the knees bend. Our gaze is going to shift towards the toes, but we're not going to really just let our head hang. So our ears are right between the biceps, and we're keeping some space between our ears and our shoulders. If we feel that our shoulders are touching the ears, keep a little bit of space, but continue to really actively press away through the hands. Lift the tailbone higher, again, even if the knees need to bend, especially at first here, but pull that belly button in. And then we can bend one knee and straighten the other. And then switch. And switch. Feeling the hamstrings. Oh, and we will feel the hamstrings if it's been a while since we've done yoga. All right. Let's shift back forward into our plank. We're dropping the knees, pull that belly button in. And for our chaturanga, our shoulders pass the wrists, elbows bend and touch the ribs. And then come all the way down to the belly. Release the feet, and then squeeze the glutes. Pull the shoulders away from the ears again, and lift through the chest for our cobra. Now, let's take our hands, press them into the mat, but not so much that we're lifting, but press them enough that they stick, and then pull the hands back like we're trying to bring them back towards our hips. But feel, that length that we're creating in our spine. Coming right back down, and then tuck the toes. Walk the knees in a little, let the hips lift, and then pressing up. Lift the knees, find that downward facing dog. Same thing, so the knees have a little bend. Lift the tailbone higher. Bend one knee, straighten the other. And switch. And switch. And switch. All right, release both heels towards the mat. Let's come forward again. Shoulders past the wrists. I know you can't see because this one here Go on, go away, go away. This one here likes the spotlight. Okay, so back to that down dog, sorry. So knees can be up or down, shoulders past the wrists. Shout around, get elbows touch the ribs. All the way to the belly, release the feet. Lift the chest here. Pull those hands back. That's gonna help us find that lift. So they're pressing into the mat, but only so that we can pull away with the hands. Slowly release. Lift the hips, elbows in, pressing up, down dog. All right, let's add on. Inhale the right toes up. Now keep the front of that right hip squared down and bend the knee. And then open up the hip. So now the hip's opening, but press harder into that right hand so that our shoulder isn't opening as well. So the shoulders are gonna stay squared down. Sorry about the dog. All right, when we're ready, switch sides, drop that foot. Inhale the opposite, toes up. Let the standing leg bend a little. Lifting a little higher through the toes. Keep the hip squared down at first, pull the heel towards the glute. Now notice how the shoulders are both on the same level, so one's not higher than the other. Keep them there as we start to open up the front hip. Breathing here for a breath or two. Oh boy, that dog is crazy today, huh? Extend the toes, drop it back down. Shifting forward, drop the knees. And this time, we're gonna walk our hands out. So work the hips to stay over the knees. Just walk the hands out a little. Feeling the tailbone lift. Feeling the front of the body open. And a nice stretch in the thoracic portion of our spine. When we're ready, walk ourselves back. Lift the knees, find our downward facing dog, and then slowly walk our hands all the way to the back of the mat. So we're in a forward fold. I always choose to do classes in the afternoon. It gets really windy. So find that half lift and then release back down. And then we're just gonna walk ourselves all the way up because we have been nice and low for quite a while. So inhaling up, exhaling our hands towards the heart. Let's do it again. Bend the knees, inhale nice and high. Exhale our hands towards our heart. Inhale nice and high. This time bring the elbows in like they're trying to touch the rib cage and lift through the chest. But see if we can lift and wiggle our toes as well. Inhale right back up, finding a chair. So same deal here. We're keeping the weight towards the back of the foot. The toes could lift and wiggle the whole time. If we feel that our tailbone's really popping out and we're arching in our back, let's see if we can tuck it under and really actually feel maybe the lower half of the spine lengthen as we tuck it. We feel the lower abdominals engage. Retract the shoulder blades away or draw them together. So if they're pulling apart, we're gonna squeeze them back together. Inhale nice and high. Exhale, come back down. And then we're gonna step forward, finding ourselves in wide leg here with wide feet. So we don't want super wide. We definitely don't want them too close because we are gonna squat. And if they're too close, the knees are gonna try to pass the ankles. So we wanna find a nice distance. We're gonna be doing some pivoting here. Our knees are opening wide. Let's tuck that tailbone again. And inhale, come all the way up. We're bringing our thumbs together. Now sit low. Let the knees open wide, even if that means we need to sit high and bring the pinkies together. Inhale, come on up. Squeezing through the glutes. Exhale, right back down. Open the knees. Inhaling up. Exhale, back down. Inhaling up. So with each exhale, we may notice we can get a little lower with our hips, opening the knees a little more. Inhaling up. Exhaling back down. Okay, inhaling up this time. Bringing our palms together, right at heart center. Let's open the knees and just hold here for a few breaths. We can be nice and still, or maybe we have a little pulse action here. But lift those toes. Feel the knees opening wider and the hips opening. The abdominals are active, the glutes are active, and the shoulder blades are squeezing together for a nice long spine. Okay, sweeping the arms down, up. Exhale, release the hands to the hips. We're gonna adjust so that our feet are parallel with each other or slightly pigeon-toed. And then just start to slowly fold, feeling the hamstrings lengthen. Again, those knees can bend. And release the hands to the shins or to the thighs, maybe finding a bit of a deeper fold. When we're ready, the hands can come under the chest. Just a couple breaths, feeling the hamstrings wake up a little more. And then let's slide our left hand right under the chest and then press away, nice long spine. If it needs to be on a sturdy water bottle, that works too. And we bow and arrow the top hand up. So reach through the top hand. We can even be on just the fingertips, or maybe we feel ready for a planted hand, but we're making sure that we're not zigzagging at the shoulders. So we have a nice stack. We lift. Switching sides, reverse bow and arrow. Bring the hand directly under where the opposite was and switch sides. Bow and arrow that top hand up. But maybe we notice, oh hey, on this side we're not quite ready, so I want to be on that water bottle, even though I wasn't on the water bottle on the other side. That's okay. Track the shoulder blades together. After a couple breaths, we might get a little lower in those fingertips. Maybe after a few breaths, we'll be on the hand. Or maybe the entire time, we're up high. That's okay. Reverse bow and arrow back down, bringing the hands all the way up to the shins, to the thighs, and then start to bring the heels in a little, and then sit the hips back, opening the knees back up, sitting low. Let's come all the way back up. Hands towards our heart. We're going to practice pivoting. So we're going to take our time adjusting the feet and then lifting one heel. So the whole front half of the body is turning towards one side of the mat, and we're going to sit low in our first high lunge. So we're checking that the feet are on that railroad track. One's on the right, one's on the left. And we pull the hips so that they're level and square with the front of the mat. Sitting lower, we inhale the hands up. Exhale, maybe we sit lower. Okay, let's come on down. We're finding a twist. Left hand is under the shoulder, and we bow and arrow that right hand up. Gentle twist. Hand can be on a block as well. Lifting nice and high. Dropping the hips lower. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Reverse bow and arrow back down. Adjusting the feet as needed. Coming back up to that high lunge. And opening back up. That squat. So knees are going to open wide. And then we're going to switch. So just adjusting here, pivoting. Find that railroad track. Maybe we need to adjust the feet a little more, sitting low. Hands coming nice and high. Exhale, sit lower. Inhale. Exhale, a little lower. So pull one hip back and the opposite hip forward. So the bent leg is where we pull that hip back and the other leg forward to square the hips. And we're twisting. Come on down. The right hand is under the shoulder. Bow and arrow that left hand up for a twist. Sitting lower in the legs on a block or sturdy water bottle or any type of prop we like to use. Hips can sink lower. Reverse bow and arrow back down. Taking our time. Let's come on up. High lunge. Opening right back up. Open the knees. Sitting low. Inhaling up. Bringing our palms together. Let's sit low, open the knees wide. Inhaling up. Exhale, sitting lower. Today is not a yoga video. So continue on with that breath. Nice deep inhale. Sinking exhale. Sorry, Zoe. Inhale, sit a little higher. Exhale, bring the hands to shoulder height, palms face the ceiling. Inhaling. Exhale. All right, when we're ready, we're going to drop that left hand, pivot, find that high lunge again. Inhale, sit low. So we're going to work to see if we can stay low. So squaring the hips by pulling the bent leg, hip back, and the opposite hip forward. Reach. And then from here, let's kind of just spiral open, reaching the hands in opposite directions, and then feeling how the left hip here is dropping. So see if we can pull the heel up, square the hips a little more. And we're really going to feel it in that back leg. We're going to feel a really deep stretch. Slowly come back up. High lunge, hips drop, open right back up, sit low. Inhale up, hands towards our heart. So feeling our core work as we pivot, so adjust feet as needed. Sit low. And then from here, reach those hands back up. Work our hips square, our shoulders square. And then we can start to open up, reaching the hands in opposite directions. Maybe sitting the hips lower. Slowly come back up to that high lunge. Opening back up. Drop the hips down. Come on up, bring our palms together. Exhale our hands towards our heart, sit low, pivoting. So adjusting, lift high. Stay low in the legs, twist. Come back up. Hands towards our heart, sit back in that squat. So we're just slowly going. Inhale nice and high. Exhale, opening. Inhale right back up. Exhale, hands towards our heart, sitting low in the legs, making sure the knees are opening. Let's do that again. Pivoting, sweep the hands up, sit low, opening up. So lift the crown of the head higher. Exhale, come right down into a twist. Left hand is under the shoulder. Reach higher through that top hand. Now inhale, exhale, come back up. Come back to the high lunge. Back towards center. And then pivot, so just adjusting, taking our time, lift high. Feel the legs work, open up, reach the hands in opposite directions. Feel that shoulder open up to the bent leg. Come right down to that twist, hand comes directly into the shoulder. Hips can sink, lift through that top hand. Okay, inhaling here. Exhale, come back up. Dropping that backhand high lunge, open up, back into the squat, and inhale up. Exhale, bringing our hands towards heart center. Let's heel toe our feet in. Right on in, hip distance. Inhaling high. Exhale, bring those elbows in, lift the chest. Inhale, back up. Exhale, let's fold here. The knees bend as much as we need. And just start to lean the weight now towards the toes. So we feel in our forward fold, our hips are sitting back. Let's see if we can lean forward now that our legs are warmer. And feel the weight come into the toes, but keeping our heels grounded, keeping our back flat, even if that means we need to sit high. Trying not to let the shoulder blades pull apart and around. All right, so we're just gonna walk our hands right back. So adjusting as needed, we're gonna find ourselves in our plank. So I did bring us to the side of the mat. So find our plank. And then shoulders past the wrists. Bend the elbows, drop the knees, and lift the chest back up so the thighs and the hips are off the floor. Slowly chaturanga back down, back to our plank, knees lift, downward facing dog. All right, inhale the right toes up. Bringing our right foot all the way to the front of the mat. Hips are low, we're back in that high lunge. Let's come on up. Drop through the hips. Opening up to our warrior two. So we did a lot of hip opening, so we should be pretty ready for this. So hips are sinking, the knee is stacked right over the heel, and our heels are on one line. So if I brought us here, the heels would both be right on the edge of this mat line, and our knee is opening. It can be heel to arch, but if our hips are feeling really tight, we'll find ourselves heel to heel instead. Front knee is over the ankle, not over the toes. And we find our hands reaching in opposite directions. Let's reach forward, flip our palm, back hand comes to the thigh, and reverse that warrior. So our shoulders are squared to the long edge of the mat. A lot of the time we want to open up to the front, but we're opening to the long edge of the mat. Front leg bends deep, and then we straighten it. And bending it deep, and straightening it. Bending it deep, and straightening it. Let's come back, bend the leg deep, hold right here. Come back to our warrior two. Now start to straighten the front leg. Adjust, we've been adjusting our feet a bit, and sit the hip back. So we're feeling a stretch on the inside of that straight leg. And we feel the weight towards the heel of this foot and not towards the toes. We shouldn't feel any pain or discomfort in our knee. And when we're ready, slowly come right back to our warrior two. Heels aligned, back heel presses away again, sit nice and low. Cartwheel, hands on either side of that foot, back heel lifts. Sink the hips down again. Left hand is under the shoulder, bone arrow that right hand up. And breathe. When we're ready, let's bone arrow right back down. Now take the right toes to the sky. Shake out that leg if we need. Hands are shoulders distance. Dropping the foot when we're ready. Coming forward to our plank. Shoulders past the wrist, chaturanga, elbows touch the ribs, feet flip. Upward facing dog. Flip the feet back. Find our chaturanga, or maybe we just shoot right back to our downward facing dog. And that's okay. Taking a breath here, nice deep inhale. Exhale, lift the tailbone higher, press away through the hands. Let's inhale the left toes up. And then bring that left foot all the way to the front of the mat. So taking our time, if the foot didn't come all the way to the front and we think we have to stick there, we don't. Use the hand to help it up. And then slowly coming up for that high lunge. Inhale. And then opening up to our warrior two. So heels again are aligned. So make sure the front knee is stacking over. It's going to try really hard to dump in. We sit low. We squeeze the shoulder blades together. And we pull the shoulders away from the ears. And reach those hands in opposite direction. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, sink. Again, nice deep inhale. Exhale, sink. Okay, let's reach forward. Flip our palm, drop the back hand to that thigh. Reverse that warrior. Again, long neck. So if we feel like we're shrugging and reaching, pull the shoulders away from the ears. And then straightening that front leg. And then bending it. And straightening it. And bending it. And again, straightening it. And bending it. Hold right here. Coming back to that warrior two. And when we're ready, we straighten that front leg again. Take the back heel, pull it in a little. And then feel the hips sit back as this back leg bends. And again, maybe we're really high in our hips. Maybe we're sitting lower, or maybe we're really low. But the weight is towards the back of this foot and not towards the toes of this foot. Slowly come back up, dropping those toes, pressing that heel back away, find that warrior two. Sitting low. And cartwheel, hands on either side of that foot. Lift the back heel. So we're twisting again. So our hips are squared down towards the mat. And then bone arrow, the opposite hand up, let the hips come lower. And when I say square, it means so our hips are facing down level with the mat. So they're parallel versus being up higher than our mat here. Reverse bone arrow, that hand down. Now press into the hands. Hands to shoulders distance, lift the toes high, shake it out. Coming down. And then the upward facing dog again. So coming forward, shoulders past the wrists, chaturanga. Flip the feet, upward facing dog. Back to our down dog. Inhale the right toes up. Bringing the right foot all the way to the front of the mat. Hips are low, high lunge. Exhale, sit lower. Opening up warrior two. Sit low. Reach, reach, reach. Flip our palm, reverse our warrior. Holding here, nice deep inhale. Exhale, sink. Straightening the front leg. Now come right back up. Reach the front fingertips towards the front of the mat. Hand comes to the shin or the thigh. Top hand reaches. Now take the shoulder blades and squeeze them together. Now pull the shoulders away from the ears and sit higher if we need. Feel the spine, a nice long line and not a bit of a rounding. Inhale. Exhale, sitting a little lower. take our hand down to our hip and start to bend the front leg, finding our our half moon. So we're gonna tiptoe, bringing our weight to that standing foot, reach the hand out and take our time, lifting up. Now flex that lifted foot. So we're trying to bring the toes towards the shin and see if we can peel open that top shoulder and the hip so that our toes are pointing, I guess, towards me. And my toes are pointing towards you. And the gaze can stay low. You can lift that top hand. We breathe here. Nice deep inhale. And one more. So we're gonna add on. We're gonna stay here for one more breath, or we're gonna see if we can take that bottom hand off for a breath. And back down. Start to bend the standing leg. Come right back to our warrior two. Sit low, cartwheel, hands on either side of our foot. And then we twist. So bring that top hand up. We've already done this, so we know where we're going, right? Sit lower in the legs. Keep our hips low, press away through that hand. And then take that hand on the inside of that front foot and see if we can sit low on our legs. Drop the back knee. So if we need to be on something to lift ourselves up, that's okay, because we'd rather have our chest be a little higher, but our hips sinking and feeling that stretch than we would to be really low, but rounding and having our hips up. So sinking, sinking, sinking with our breath. Nice deep inhale. Now see, our back toes can release if we would like. See if we can press so hard into the top of the foot that we lift that back knee. Maybe we even plant the hands and sink the hips lower, and then lift that chin to make our spine even longer. Slowly release. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, and take that right foot back. Shake it out if we need. Dropping it down. Check that our hands are shoulders distance. Come forward. Chaturanga. Flip the feet. Upward facing dog. Glutes squeeze here. Pressing away. Feet flip back. Down dog. So we're going to switch sides. Inhale the left toes up. Bringing the left foot all the way to the front of the mat. So we find that high lunge. Lift. Open right up to our warrior two. Maybe our feet can spread a little farther apart. That back heel, we press it away so that we can spin the femur in the hip socket and let this front knee open more and sink our hips, trying to keep our hips square to the long edge of the mat. Reach, reach, reach. Flip our palm, reverse our warrior, hips sink a little lower. Start to come straightening up with that leg. Reach through the left fingertips. And when we can't go any farther, hand comes to the shin or the thigh. And then that top hand can reach straight up. Our shoulder blades retract. They draw together. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. And breathe. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, maybe we sink a little lower. But if we notice we've rounded, just come back up. Feel that spine stay long. All right, so bringing the right hand down to the hip, let's bend that standing leg just a little, and then tiptoe our weight closer to that front foot. When we're ready, we can bring our hands out in front of the toes, so it just really depends on our own torso length. But what we're looking for is the shoulder to be directly over the hand and not behind it or in front of it. And same thing, so the hip's gonna be right over the heel and not in front or behind it. So we want a nice sturdy stack here. Sometimes hard to feel, so we just play with it, not locking out the standing leg. Now flex those top toes like they're trying to touch the shin. Squeeze the glutes and open the front hip. We can lift the top hand if we'd like. Nice deep inhale and exhale. Nice deep inhale and exhale. Okay, so we did a few breaths already. So we're gonna try, if we did so on the other side, nice deep inhale. And lift, exhale, holding it, holding it, holding it, and drop. Okay, so bend the standing leg, come right back to our warrior two. Feet are spread far, sitting low, and cartwheel. Hands on either side of the foot, lift the back heel. Sitting low. And when we're ready, let's bow and arrow twist. Drop through the hips. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. We weren't here too long before we reverse bow and arrow. This time bringing it on the inside of that foot and sinking the hips low. So we'll for sure be feeling it in that hip. We can drop the back knee. Making sure we stack the knee over the ankle and not over the toes. Now pull the shoulders away from the ears. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Adjusting as needed. If we want, we can release the toes and then press so hard into that top of the foot that we lift the knee, but let the crown of the head reach farther. Let the hips sink lower. And slowly release. Tuck those back toes, lift the knee, bring the toes to the sky, shake it out, and then drop that foot when we're ready, holding in this downward facing dog for 3 deep inhales and exhales. So let the knees come a little straighter, but not at the expense of our straightness of our spine. So we'd rather lift that tailbone, lift it taller, pressing away through the hands, keep the neck long, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, press away more, but release the tension in the feet. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, release the tension in the feet, lift the tailbone higher. One more, nice deep inhale. Exhale. We're gonna go really slow into our plank. Knees are gonna be up or down, and we're gonna pass the shoulders, and we're gonna go really slow into our chaturanga. All the way to the belly. Release those feet. Release the hips. Now hands are back by our hips, and we flip our palms to face the floor. We're gonna squeeze the glutes, pull the belly button in so it's not touching the mat, and then reach the fingertips back like they're trying to touch our heels. But we're making sure that our palms are released to face the floor. And then from here, we're gonna slowly release down. Bringing our hands under the shoulders, tuck the toes, walk the knees in, pull the elbows in, and then press up. I'm gonna be nice and give us a nice child's pose. So when we're ready, open the knees wide, bring the toes in, hips are back towards our heels, and we walk the hands out forward. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, releasing that tension. So just holding here for a few breaths, working on that breath. Nice deep inhale. Exhaling. So when we feel like we've taken enough breaths, we are going to slowly come right back to our hands and knees. And we're going to find ourselves back to our belly. So shoulders past the wrists, chaturanga, all the way back down. Release those feet again. Hands are back by the hips. Flip the palms, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Now squeeze the glutes. Squeeze them tighter. Pull that belly button in. And continue that activation as we reach the fingertips farther back. And then our heels are going to reach towards the glutes, those active glutes. And our feet are flexing. And then we'll reach back, seeing if we can grab the outsides of our ankles. Finding a bit of a bow. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, kicking into the hands. Now, pull that belly button back in if you're like me and you'll let it go. Keep those glutes active. We can lift the heels, finding a nice back bend. Exhale, maybe they sit higher. Trying to not let the knees splay apart. And release. Hands are under the chest. Tuck the toes, hips up, elbows in, pressing up. Lift the knees. Find our downward facing dog. Inhale the right toes up. Let's bring our right foot all the way to the front of the mat again. And then find ourselves in our high lunge. So feeling really strong in the legs, we're gonna sit lower. And then we're gonna sweep our hands back by the hips. See if we can find our chest towards the inside of that front leg. Breathing here. Exhale, sitting lower. And then our hands are gonna reach towards the front. Bend the back leg, press off. Oh, maybe it takes a few tries. And then bend that leg, come right back, sweep the hands back by the hips. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Bend the back leg, press off, sweep the hands forward as well. Again. Bend, reach the hands back by the hips. Shoulder blades squeeze together, sitting our hips lower. Bend the back leg, press off. Reaching the fingertips forward, our heel back, the foot is flexed. Feeling how strong that standing leg is. When we're ready, hinge at the hips, standing towards the front of the mat. Lift that opposite leg as we've come up high, pull the shoulders away from the ears. And then from here, bring the leg up and over, finding a nice cross with our eagle legs. So the legs are going to squeeze together, pull the abdominals in. We're going to lower the hands. So if our left leg is on top, then our right arm comes on top. So we cross, bending at the elbows. We'll bring the backs of the hands together. We're winding them. Now squeeze the arms together. Squeeze the legs together even more. Lift the elbows and sink the hips lower. Breathing, nice deep inhale. Exhaling, sitting lower. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, sitting lower. One more. Okay, keep the arms interlaced. And then release the legs, lift up high. Hinge at the hips. Nice and slow. I know that standing leg is on fire. You're not alone. Flex that back foot. Release the intertwining hands. Drop the right hand under the shoulder and find that half moon again. Breathing. See if we can lift that hand off the floor. And then we're going to start to pivot the whole body. So the hip is turning, the hands are arms are out like an airplane, and then the left hand drops, and the right hand lifts for a revolving half moon. Reverse bow and arrow, that hand down. Now we're going to find our standing splits, lifting the left toes higher. The standing leg is not locked out. We have a tiny bend, and let's see if we can take that lifted hip and square it down so it's on the same floor as the bottom hip, but continue lifting through the toes. We can grab the standing leg with one hand or both. We are strong and we've had enough release. Pull the left leg in and shoot it all the way back. Drop that back knee and then walk ourselves back and then back forward. Hips drop and then back and then back forward. And one more time back, and let's hold right here. So just if needed. So we don't want to find our hip on that heel. We're actually working the hip over the knee if we can, even walking up a bit, leveling the hips so they're square again, nice and even, and then folding over that leg, pulling the toes back. And then one more twist, if we'd like. Hand is under the shoulder, twisting towards that straight leg, drawing the shoulder blades together, reaching the top hand higher. Reverse bow and arrow, back down, walking ourselves forward, tucking the back toes, lifting that knee, and taking the right toes to the sky. Shake it out. Dropping our foot, coming forward. Chaturanga, upward facing dog, cobra, or just right back to our down dog. Switching sides, inhaling the left toes up. Bring the left foot to the front of the mat. Hips are low. Come on up, high lunge. Sinking low. Finding that stability in our legs. So adjusting if we need. Finding that railroad track feed. And then squaring the hips. Inhale nice and high. Exhale, start to drop down. Bring the elbows to the ribs. Drop the chest on the inside of the thigh and reach the hands back by the hips. Palms are facing the floor. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Sitting low. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, sitting lower. Now, bring the elbows, keep the elbows and reach the hands out now. They're out, bend the back leg, press off. I know that one was a bit hard. It was probably the hardest one because we were down so low. Now, bend the standing leg, come right back. We're keeping our chest low the entire time. Bend the back leg, press off, sweep the hands forward. Stepping back. Last one. Sit low, bend the back leg, press off. Finding ourselves in our warrior 3. Squaring the hips. Maybe this side feels way harder than the other, and that's okay. Just another breath or two. Lift the heel a little higher. And then slowly hinging at the hips. Lifting up that back leg nice and high. Finding our balance. Now, if we feel we can, we spread those standing toes and grip into the mat. Then we lift the leg higher, cross it over. Maybe the toes stay on the floor. Maybe they touch the ankle. Maybe we even have kind of a figure 4 in our legs, and that's okay. But then we start to sit a little lower. Weight comes towards the back of the foot. Our right leg is on top, so this time our hands drop. Then we cross the left arm over, maybe pressing the backs of the hands together, or fully intertwining them and pressing the palms together. But squeeze the arms together a little more. We feel the shoulders pulling apart. Squeeze the legs together a little more and sitting a little lower. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, sinking lower. We feel the weight shifting towards the toes, because even if we've been doing it for almost 10 years, it still happens. I was just at my toes. We try to sit back. Okay, so keeping, maybe shaking out if we need, keeping the arms interlaced. Let's lift right back up, and then we hinge just like we did, only different sides. Releasing when we're ready, finding that half moon on the floor with the hand or a block or a sturdy water bottle, lifting that top hand up, breathing. Now squeeze the glutes here, pull the belly button in, retract the shoulder blades towards each other, reaching the top hand up. We're going to find that revolving half moon. So when the top hand drops, it's going to drop under the same side shoulder, and we don't need to fully bring it in front of the standing toes. So inhale, exhale, lift, start to pivot, feel the whole body turn towards the mat. Drop that right hand under the shoulder. Oh, maybe one side is way more challenging than the other. Maybe this side is like lava right now. Lift that top hand up. Lifting the heel a little higher. Pull the belly button in, and then feel that the top shoulder is not dropping. We're really opening up. When we've had enough, we drop the hand back down, finding our standing splits. Again, trying not to let the whole hip open up. It's going to square down. We lift the toes. We can grab that standing foot or ankle or calf with one hand or two, lifting higher. And when we've had enough, release the hands down for support. Pull this lifted leg in and then shoot it back. It's kind of a gentle shoot back. It's not like a rocket. Sitting low in the hips. And when we're ready, drop the back knee and then just walk ourselves back. So maybe we need to adjust. And then right back forward, hips drop. And then sitting back. And then back forward again. And then we held this one. So adjust as needed, especially because we're here for a couple breaths. We can sit higher. Back toes can tuck or release. The hips are squared and not lifted higher than one another. And fold. Draw the shoulder blades together, pulling the shoulders away from the ears. And pull, so by pulling the toes back, we're lengthening that hamstring even more. Inhale. Exhale, lower. If we really want our hands on the floor, we're going to keep them close to the knees and not out towards that heel, because as we reach the heel, that's when our shoulder blades are really pulling apart. So inhale. Exhale. Again, nice deep inhale. Release, exhale. And if we want that twist, bring the hand directly under the shoulder and then bow and arrow that top hand up. Try not to let the hip lift with it. It's going to square down and lift. If we're here for a couple breaths, we notice it's lifted, square it back down. Reverse bow and arrow. And then slowly come right back down. Hands on either side of that foot. Tuck the back toes, lifting that back knee, and then take the toes to the sky, shaking it out. Foot drops, bend one knee, straighten the other, and switch. And switch. All right. When we're even, let's slowly come forward, dropping ourselves down towards our knees, sitting back. How much time do we have? Oh, we got time still. All right, so we're gonna find a camel pose. So first, we're gonna sit ourselves right back up on our knees. We're gonna tuck the toes back in, but hey, my knees, this doesn't feel good, Jen. What do I do? Well, we can grab a towel. We can roll our mat. Have a little extra cushion. But if after that it still hurts, we just let go of this one. And we can find a standing camel and come to our feet. So it's the same action, so we're going to support ourselves in our low back. We would just be standing. But our hips right now are working right over the knees, not in front of them, not way behind them. So we have a nice alignment. Shoulders up, back, and down. Let's inhale. Our toes are tucked so that our heels can be high. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bring the elbows in, lifting through the chest. Inhale, right back up. Exhale, lift the chest. Keep the hips tracking over the knees. Inhale, and so if we feel something in the low back as we come in, then our hips have probably come forward. So bring them back until we don't feel it in our low back, because we're looking for that mid back, our thoracic spine. Inhale up to be opening and finding some more flexibility. All right, when we're ready, inhale, lift. Exhale, bring our hands towards our waistband, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then find that lifting. So we're gonna stay here a little longer. We are supported, bringing our knuckles to the waistband, to our sacrum. Just not too low, not too high. Squeeze the shoulder blades together more. Shoulders away from the ears. Inhale. Exhale, maybe lift the chest a little more. So we pull the chin in like we're trying to make a double chin. We should be able to swallow the whole time. If we'd like, we can release one hand. And if we pendulum, not turning, if we pendulum and our fingertips can graze, then we're probably ready to grab for a heel and then the other heel. You don't want to turn and pivot as we reach in that camel pose. Chest lifts. We don't have to grab anything. We can stay right here. Man, we could stay here in our child's pose if we'd like. We really just listen to our body. In fact, we're all going to meet back in that child's pose before we find our camel again. So if we're touching our toes, bring our heels, bring our hands back to the waistband and slowly come back up. Release the toes, sit back, open the knees wide, and then walk ourselves back out. Forehead comes to the mat. Let's take our hands all the way off to the right side, feeling a stretch on the left side of the body. So see if we can keep our hands walking forward till they can't go any farther, but keep the forearms off the floor. Our hands are down, our forehead is down, but our arms are not down. Let's come back to center and switch sides. So we can walk those hands out. Back to center. And then slowly walk the hands back under the shoulders to help ourselves back up. We're going to pull the knees back in since they were wider. And then we come on up again. We tuck our toes, lift those heels up, and work the hips over the knees, shoulders up, back and down. So we're really strong here. Belly button's in, glutes are squeezed, and inhale up. Exhale, hands to our waistband, shoulders pull away from the ears and squeezing the shoulder blades together. Again, like we're trying to pinch a pencil and hold them between the shoulder blades. Now lift the chest higher. Maybe we try for that pendulum again. Then we can reach towards the heel, maybe the other heel, and then lift the chest back up. And when we're ready, we can release the toe tuck, but continue lifting through the chest. So if we notice we're back here, you want to lift back up, like we're trying to keep that sternum lifting as high as we can get, like there's a magnet, a really strong magnet, pulling it up towards a piece of metal up high. And when we've had enough, hands back to the waistband, helping ourselves back up, finding that seat. If we found our standing camel, we're going to meet in a seat on our mat. It's loud today. Crazy cars, lots of yard work. That's where we try to let go of distractions. It's a great practice for life in general that yoga can help us with. So, when we're ready, first, we're just going to find a seat on the mat. And we're going to grab underneath the thighs and lift our chest, shoulders up, back, and down. Starting to sit back for a bit of a boat pose. So finding our little spot, we're not killing our tailbone, and then we lift the chest so we're balancing on those hips and the sits bones. Maybe we lift the feet. Now pull that belly button in. We can release the hands out, and then tap one toe and bring it back up. Pull that belly button in, tap the other, and back up. So a nice slow tap, center, trying to keep the shoulder blades joined together. Maybe we want to go a little faster. Maybe we want to keep it slow. Maybe we want to keep our toes down and do a lift. And a lift, that's an option. Our hands can stay right under the thighs. We're just still continuing to be at an angle with our spine to engage those abdominal muscles. Pull that belly button in. And find some stillness in that boat. Lift the chest. Maybe we extend the feet. Reach the hands out. Now slowly lower, 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 or getting down. However we like. Finding ourselves on our backs. Now from here, let's pull one leg in. So we're grabbing under the thigh. We're going to pull it in. Now take the opposite foot and plant the foot. And see if we can kind of lengthen out our spine a little more. Pull the knee in. Staying here. Or extend that leg back out. And then we're going to cross the body with that leg. So nice deep inhale. Opposite hand comes to the outside of that thigh. Exhale. Open up. And then trying to keep the opposite shoulder down. So as the say our right knee is coming off to the left, that right shoulder, so I guess not opposite, our right shoulder is going to try to lift. That twisting knee, the side of the leg that's twisting, is probably not going to touch the floor. If it does, great. But if it's up here and we're like, this isn't deep enough for me, that's fine. That's great. We're just working with our body, finding room to grow. But we work with that breath. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. One more nice deep inhale. Exhaling. Bring the leg back to center. Pulling both legs in and switch. So drop that opposite foot and then pull the knee in. So feeling the whole back planted onto the mat. And when we're ready, we can start to extend that leg and cross opposite hand onto the outside of that bent leg, and then dropping the leg over to the opposite side. So adjusting if we need, but keeping both shoulders down. The toes might stay down. The toes aren't going to have to stay hovering, but the knee might hover. So the toes can be down, and we work with that breath. So releasing that tension. So if we feel tight still, take a nice deep inhale and let go as we exhale. Try to let go of some of that tension, keeping the shoulder grounded. Nice deep inhale. Exhaling, deepening that twist. Again, nice deep inhale. Exhaling. Slowly coming back to center. Maybe we need to adjust our hips if they moved. So they're back to center, grabbing under the thighs. Let's plant our feet down. We're gonna find our bridge. So if we wanna go straight to our Shavasana, that's an option. Otherwise, we plant the feet and then press hard into the feet and into the shoulders and into the back of the head so that we don't really dump into our neck. So we keep a long neck, but we work our hips higher. Now squeeze the glutes and pull that belly button in to make sure we don't feel pain or discomfort in our low back. We're lengthening that spine. Again, we could talk the whole time because we're not dumping into our neck. So we're pressing into the back of that head. So we're actually gonna take a break in between bridge if we need, but I'm shooting for us staying in this bridge and finding a wheel without a break in between. So pull the belly button in, maybe lifting higher. And if we'd like, we're taking our hands, so the thumbs are gonna be next to the ears, and we're placing the hands right next to the ears, with the thumbs closest. And we're gonna press into the hands, into the feet, and squeeze the glutes to lift up. So nice deep inhale. Exhale, press, press, press. Maybe we lift a second. And then back down, keep the hips up. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, press up. Maybe we came a little higher. And then back down, so keep those glutes working. I know we'll have one more chance after this one, and we'll have a break in between. I know I said no breaks, but here we go. Last one, nice deep inhale. Exhale, pressing all the way up for that wheel. So we're trying to keep our feet hips distance and not super wide. Press into the feet to press the chest forward. Now lift the heels, come on down. Finding ourselves on our backs, pull the knees in, grabbing under the thighs. And then rocking side to side a little. We'll find one more, either bridge or a full wheel. Dropping down the feet. Inhale. Exhale, lift the hips. Staying here. Or lifting a little higher. Nice deep inhale. As we exhale, staying higher with the hips. Hands are right next to the ears. Thumbs are so close that maybe we can feel that they're almost touching. And then inhale. Exhale, press into the hands. Squeeze the glutes. And press into the feet. We can walk the feet in some more if we'd like. Staying here as long as we'd like. When we've had enough, lift the heels, slowly coming down, knees into the chest, rocking side to side a little. Finding a twist again, dropping the knees over towards one side, keeping the shoulders grounded. Back to center. Exhale, knees to the other side, keeping both shoulders grounded. And back to center. Let's squeeze into a little ball, taking a nice deep inhale. Exhale. Okay, so start to squeeze every muscle we can think of. Everything, our hands, our arms, our back muscles, our shoulders, our abdominals, our glutes, our pectorals, our feet. Nice deep inhale. And as we exhale, release it all. Walking our feet towards the bottom of the mat. Flipping our palms to face the ceiling. Releasing any of that leftover tension. As we lay here in our final relaxation, let's keep that nice even breath pattern going. Inhaling through the nose, even exhale through the nose. When we're ready, we'll start to bring a little bit of awareness back to our bodies by wiggling our fingers, toes. Maybe reaching our hands overhead and our toes in the opposite direction, stretching our bodies. You can pull the knees in towards the chest, rocking side to side a little. And we roll over towards our left or to our right. And we'll use our hands to slowly help us up to a seated position. Nice and slow so we don't get dizzy. Sitting nice and tall. We'll reach the crown of the head towards the sky or ceiling. We'll roll the shoulders up, back and down. Slowly inhaling the arms overhead. Reach through the fingertips. Inhaling. Exhaling our hands towards our hearts. Namaste. Shavasana's over. Shavasana's never over for you, is it?